Hi, this is Zach Mere with the weekend edition of the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe. It's Sunday, the 4th of February. Starting off with the FTSE 100, and not a great end to the week, either on Thursday or on Friday. We're tipping near the 50-day line, 75.80, and we've got the 200-day line, 75.60 below that. If we break below that 75.60 zone, then we have the risk once again of 74.20, and the floor of that rising August trend channel. The RSI above neutral 50, which is probably the only saving grace at the moment, so hoping that eventually the market will resolve to the upside, break recent resistance at 76.90 and head up to 7800 by the end of this month. Moving along to the DAX, which has managed to get knocked back at the 17,000 level for the fifth time, something like that, many times now, but still holding well. We've obviously kept most of that rally from the end of October. Support in the first instance around 16,600, which is the floor of the channel, and also the December breakout line, and if we're lucky, we'll find support around 16,800, which was last week's support area. RSI at 60, which is in a comfortable place ahead of a potential move to the upside. If we get that, it could be up to the top of that rising October trend channel towards 17,900 as soon as the end of this month. Onto the Dow, which continues to be a star performer, and here we got that rising trend channel progress within it. We had previously 37,000 as support, then became 38,000 at the floor of that rising October trend channel, and now we've got above that the potential of a move towards 40,000 as soon as the end of this month, which would be remarkable and brilliant at the same time. If we do break back below 38,000, the obvious area is the 50-day line around 37,100, tying in with that December-January support. Moving on to Bitcoin, which is currently dancing either side of the 50-day moving average, but at least it is in that zone, which is good. We've got that rising trend channel. You can see recent days, this market finding quite healthy action either side of the 50-day line, and I suppose tending to be on the right side of it. In fact, if you look closely, I think 50-day line is rising, which is a positive. Above that 50-day line, we're looking for a break of recent resistance around 43,800. And then really not much between there and the 49,000 peak of last month. Big picture target maybe by the end of next month now, up to 51,000, the top of that rising August trend channel, but obviously this market can move very quickly, and you can do $8,000 in a blink. RSI bounced off neutral 50 a couple of times in the recent past. That is also encouraging. Downside hopefully limited to the 40,000 area and the floor of that August trend channel. Moving on to gold, where we had an attempt at breaking higher towards 2100, but didn't quite make it. But at least while we're above the 50-day moving average at 2040, looking for 2100 sometime later this month, and even as high as 2180 by the end of next month if everything goes well, and obviously it could be earlier than that as well. Below 2440, then there's the risk of a dip towards the floor of that rising trend channel from March last year, now around the 1986 level. Moving on to the stocks, and mixed bag in terms of ones that people follow, ones that people don't. Probably Beowulf is one that people do. Bear trap gap reversal last month, rising 50 and 200-day moving averages, and the price action bouncing above the 200-day line at 1.63 pence. Above a recent, there's the old resistance on the way down, around 1 3/4 pence above that. We're looking for a break of 2.5 pence and up to ultimately as high as 3.5 pence or 3.6 pence by the end of next month or even sooner. So quite a punchy call there, but that's based on the bear trap gap reversal and the rising 50 and 200-day moving averages. Onto a stock which is notoriously difficult to make a call on, which is Challenger here. Got potential rebound at the floor of the rising trend channel from back in September. Top of the channel there, heading towards 0.15, and we're looking for that by the end of next month, while we remain above the 0.08 level. Next up is CleanTech Lithium, and here sort of a welcome revival after the recent sharp decline for the shares from 60p back in September. We've broken out of this falling wedge, which has been in place since November. We did it with an unfilled gap to the upside last week, so that is the area there around 14 pence. Had a hammer candle, then a gap to the upside, and that suggests that there's going to be a bit of a turnaround here. And initial target here at the area of the 50-day moving average and that December resistance line at 19 pence, hopefully in the first half of this month. Best case would be to fill the gap from November up to 25 pence over the next 2 to 4 weeks, but need to stay above 14 pence in the meantime. One of the stars of last week was global petroleum, and this also notoriously difficult to get a handle on, and in fact in my case type out as well. Here you can see that shares have delivered a V-shaped bull flag resting on the 200-day line at 0.13. Above 0.13 we're looking for up to 0.28 by the end of this month, and that would be the May resistance line from last year. So pretty good setup there after the sideways shuffle above a rising 50-day line in the middle of last month. Moving on to Hummingbird, and here you can see that the shares within this rising trend channel base, that's been in place since September. During the week we had a nice bounce off the floor of the channel, and we've got a sort of mini bull flag there. Initial target here, the 50-day moving average at 10.25, but above that we're looking for the top of the channel there from September, as high as 14 pence as soon as the end of this month. Obviously we'd like to stay above 8.5 pence, and we'd like the RSI to remain above neutral 50 versus 51 or just under 52 at the moment. Moving along to Jangada, which not many people take a look at these days, but looks as though we've got a broadening triangle base, and the top of that triangle heading towards a retest of November resistance around 2.4 pence. If you're cautious, you wait for the share price to break that 50-day line at 1.75 pence, but it looks as though breaking that neckline resistance at 1.62 in the bear trap, rebound from below December support at 1.35 should take us up to the 2.5 pence area relatively quickly on Jangada. One of the nightmare scenarios of recent years has been Minoan, just always there with its false dawns, but maybe this is another false dawn. But we've got bullish divergence here over the near term, so from the end of December, and we've got an uptrend line in the RSI window, which does suggest that we should be able to turn around here over the near term. Above the 50-day line there at 0.6 pence, we're looking for up to 1.1 pence by the end of next month. Obviously, if you're cautious, you wait for a January resistance at 0.73 to break, but the end of week close and the U-shaped turnaround there back above December support at 0.62 gives the impression of at least an intermediate rally there on the Minoan daily chart. Moving on to Orosur, which has had lots of coverage here, and most of it has been successful in terms of calling the shares higher. Here we've got the 200-day line there at 3.4 pence. Above that we're looking for a zigzag up towards 6.25 pence by the end of next month, or hopefully even sooner than that. That little probe there on the 23rd of January looks as though that would have flushed out the weak hands in that situation. Moving on to Power Metal, which has been one of the stars of the show in terms of last week, placing at a penny, and shares actually went up, and they nearly hit our target there at 1.3 pence. Hopefully we'll hit that soon. That was the second target there, a break of 0.9, leading to potentially 1.3 pence. In fact, we're going for as high as 1.85 pence by the end of next month if we get a quick break of that 1.3 pence area in the first half of February. The other point to note is that the 50 and 200-day lines are both rising now, so that means we're in the run up to a golden cross, and that tends to be the strongest part of the cycle. Onto a stock which I think I'm the only person who's actually been championing, Silver Bullet. Great close to the week on Friday, closing at the high of the day. That suggests that £2 should be on its way by the end of this month, or even sooner, while we're above recent resistance at £1.57 rather. A nice setup here at Trellus, which looks like a sideways shuffle above a rising 50-day moving average. If it is, we should expect a quite explosive move towards the top of that broadening triangle from back in March last year at 10 pence. Maybe we'll hit that by the end of next month. Hopefully we could hit that even sooner. Stock which has been surprisingly weak in terms of the differential between how well the cryptos are doing and the share price here is TAP Global, but an attempt during last week to clear the 50-day moving average. That's currently around 1.9 pence. Above that, we're looking for the shares to get up to 2.4 pence, perhaps as soon as the end of this month, if we can stay above the old December support there at 1.8. So above 1.8, looking for 2.4 as soon as the end of this month. Versarien has made an attempt at turning around as well, and quite a lot of interest there on the technical front, in the sense that if you look closely, we gapped down back at in the middle of last month, gap down through 0.15 pence. And what we want to see here is an end of day close above 0.15 to give us a potential gap fill up to 0.3 pence by the end of this month. But the trigger there is an end of day close above 0.15, so don't get too excited unless we see that, even though we are very close to that. Finishing off with Valereum and the Aquas market here, we're holding above the old December resistance there, around 5.5 pence. Above that, looking for up to 7.6 pence by the end of this month, at the top of a rising trend channel from back in April. This stage only back below the rising 50-day line at 4.6 pence, really delaying the upside scenario, the improving scenario on that situation. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.